Hi guys, Viking Reefing here. I'm here with an automotive legend here in Sweden, Sven Bass.
Hello.
His English isn't that great, so we'll be translating a bit as well. Sven Bass fish tank is freaking awesome. It's 35-40 år.
Nej,
Eller 40 år
jag
gammal.
var på 40 år med det.
Yeah, so the fish tank itself has been here for 40 years. And it's about 4,000 liters. It's almost 1.6 meters to the back and about 2.6 meters in width. And it's completely built in. It's made from acrylic. The tjock är
25 millimeter akryl.
and the front pane is 25 millimeters acrylic. So it's quite beefy, and he just finished sanding it. As you can see, some really awesome fish in here, which gives me fish envy if you saw my last video where I told you how many fish I actually lost in my tank. So, vilken är din favoritfisk?
Min favoritfisk är nog akillesen, den där. Jag tycker den är så jävla vacker. Där borta är han ju. Den är nog min favorit. Den tycker jag är så jävla vacker.
So Sven Bass' favorite fish in the whole tank is the Achilles tang, and he has a beautiful specimen.
Fina färger på något sätt.
And it doesn't have any white spot or anything. And he loves fish from the Red Sea just generally, so he has a...
Och så påfågelkejsaren är ju vacker också. Den är fet och fin också.
So he has a similar Waters butterfly somewhere in here. And he also loves the Acanthus regal fish here. He has two actually of the regal angelfish. And as you can see, his corals are ginormous. I'll take some closer shots here in a bit. But I mean, most of the colonies are like at least 40 times 40 centimeters or something. And he actually has some colonies which he got from my tank, which have been growing gangbusters. Den blåa är från mitt skala. So he has a couple of colonies which he got from me, which were about this big, and they're now this.
Den var också så liten.
It tells me that he has had this Circophyton here for over 20 years, and he got it as like big as a thumb or something. And as you can see, he has a very wide variety of corals, a lot of soft corals, but the LPS and SPS are also doing freaking great in this tank, so it's very impressive. And let's take some closer looks at the tank. So as you can see here, this is quite the man cave Sven Bass got here. Every dude's dream. A big bar, a bunch of nice scotches and cognacs, and a freaking awesome reef tank. And just look at this tank and the size of the corals. Let's take a closer look at some of the more special specimens here. Here's some more shidal getting a clean from a cleaner shrimp down in this corner. That's a Hydnophora. That I think that actually came here from a friend of mine, and it weighed like 25 kilos or something. He has some very nice Maxima clams back here. He's had them for quite some while. I haven't had much luck with Maximas for a long time. That coral is from my tank. We zoom in a bit, and it has grown quite substantially. I think the green slimer up here as well is also from my tank. You can see a bunch of anemones as well. This Senularia is just enormous. I'd say that it's probably 60 times 60 centimeters or something. Here's the Similar Waters butterfly, one of his favorites, and also one of my favorites. And this is a kind of a unique piece. This wasn't cheap. A red Hadoni, I think it's at least a carpet anemone. Has a Moorish idol as well. This is basically the perfect tank for a Moorish idol, since there's huge amounts of space in here. And lots of things to snack on. And this guy, he's basically as big as my hand, I'd say, probably. Just an awesome tank. And Svempas tells me that if you are in Sweden or visiting Sweden, you are welcome to reach out and come visit and have a look for yourself. I think this is probably the oldest reef tank in Sweden. I can't imagine that anyone has had a continuously running reef tank for more than 40 years. And if we have a look back here, you can see how big the tank actually is. I'm not sure how well the sound is coming through because I forgot my microphone, but just look at this freaking monster. I mean, it's insanely big. And we have quite an elaborate sump system under here. As you can see here. He has a wide variety of lights over here. There are, I think that's like a siege or something. We got Orfix and AI blades. So there's a lot of lights over this tank, but I would imagine he used metal halides in the past. Du körde metallhalogen innan, va?
Ja.
Du körde metallhalogen innan.
Ja, då får det som det blir så jävla varmt.
Yeah. And he used to run metal halides over this system, but then he had to use a bunch of like big chillers and stuff to keep the temperature down. There we go. And he's made these himself. So this is what filters the water. How often hur ofta tömmer du den?
Ja, var fjärde dag.
Okay.
Det blir kolsvart.
Just yeah. And like in 4 days, this filter, it gets jet black. So he changes it out every 4 days. Has a Royal exclusive skimmer, I believe. Bubble King Supermarine 250, I believe it is. He has another filter here. It's a big tank, a lot of fish load, so I would imagine that that's needed. And an additional filter here, and he's made everything himself, which is freaking cool. And this stand is actually made out of wood. So anyone that says that wood won't last, well, this has been here for 4 years. Looks to be holding up without any major issues.
Det är många ton, 5 ton räknat till att den här vägen.
And the tank itself actually weighs around 5 tons. So it's a good thing that we got concrete. And he has a quite substantial UV sterilizing system as well here. So I believe this would be around 220 watts. And behind him he has his calcium reactor, which is covered by a just a towel because the light kind of grows algae in it otherwise. And this is an old school calcium reactor. Keeps his entire tank running actually. Apparently, I think this thing is actually basically running his entire tank, but you can see there's quite a bit of power going through that and a lot of carbon dioxide. So I would imagine he melts this media in well, a week or something for the consumption this tank probably has. And I believe this tank was initially designed with a closed loop system as well, since you have a bunch of these thingamajigs, which has been taken offline. Mandy tells me that he changes about 600 liters of water every 3 weeks in this system. So he's got a lot of export and a lot of water changes. So I guess that just goes to show that changing your water is key in longevity in terms of tanks.
4 hinkar i månaden.
He gets rid of 4 buckets of salt a month. So yeah, that's quite substantial. And this is Thomas. I think if you haven't seen his tank, I have another video on my channel which goes over his system. And I think the latest, I think we swapped out your lighting in the last tank as well, last video as well. And here's my daughter, and she found a cat figurine, and she's attacking me with it. And gulligaman. And Thomas helps out here somewhat with some of the heavy lifting as well. We all live very close by each other here as well, so.
No, so I started to help Svampas, a little bit more than a year ago, and I come here normally once a week and just do the basic, measure KH, nitrate, phosphates, and then make some adjustments, and then Svampas is basically take care of the system. So I'm used to say that I have 2 of the biggest aquariums in Sweden. That's my own, of course. Yeah, it's great to be able to help out. When I started here, there was a lot of GPS that I managed to kill, and also some other softies. But the good thing is that the stony corals now are doing really, really well. So I think that's a fair trade-off.
Definitely, getting rid of some soft corals for this overall look is definitely a good trade. Oh, as a last thing, this is Svampas car he drives. It's an Audi R8. Yep. So, and as you can see, he has done his signature colors on it as well. So this is a beautiful car, and here is his other car. So all right, guys, thank you for tagging along, and thank you a lot to Svampas for letting us into his home and showing us his awesome tank. Tack så mycket för att vi fick komma och kolla.
Okej, ingen problem. You're welcome.
Bye guys, have a good one.